All right, so we're back again. Now, hopefully my audio is better. So let's see. Let's see what the chat says. Yeah, hey, how about that? So who knows? Who the fuck knows? It's always something, right? Right. All right, good. So that is fixed. And welcome to Godsfall, Escape the Union. I am joined tonight or today, depending on where you are, by 5 amazing people, and we're going to go down and introduce them again. Diamond, would you still like to go last? Yes, of course. So we're gonna begin with Magnuson. Great. Well, it's never gonna get away from those. Excellent. And Ashford. Hey guys, naturally, I know, I just saw it. Of course they can't. 1 second, hang on. Okay, there we go. Now you should be able to hear.
I hate everything.
You should be able to hear both me.
Do we have to do
I'm
this
gonna fly.
again?
Yeah, we do.
I'm gonna fly to the States and kill you.
You should
Third time's a charm! Third time's a charm!
I'm gonna straight up murder you.
Captain!
Hi,
We're
my
piloting
name-
ourselves straight to the tech issues.
My
I
name-
can't seem to pull us out.
My name is Aram. I am a professional media broadcaster, and welcome back to Godsfall, Escape the Union. We're going to go around for the first time and introduce ourselves all one by one. You've probably never heard of us. Here we are, being introduced one by one, starting with Magnuson. Professional operation.
Hi, I'm Chris, professional cat wrangler. I play Magnuson, demigod of cat wrangling, and also redemption.
Yeah.
We're both dudes.
Both those are hard things. You picked 2 hard things, man.
Fair.
It should have been like demigod of redemption and like, milkshakes. Like there should have been something easy in
Dude, I
there.
wish.
But no, it's redemption and cat wrangling. All right.
Yeah, it's a living.
And then I'm sorry, we're going out of order. So who's after?
So next up is Yara.
All right, excellent.
Hi, I'm Navigator Yara. And I just can't pull this ship around. I need more power.
No, we don't have that.
I'm the demigod of stewardship. And Yara's she, they. I'm Tyler, I'm he, him.
Excellent. I think it's Asher.
Counselor.
Yes.
Yes.
Help us.
Hi.
process these feelings.
My name is Mary. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them. And I play Counselor Ashlyn, whose pronouns are she, her, and is demigod of demigod wrangling and strands.
Excellent. And then
Hi.
Amity? Yeah. Security,
Oh.
right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm Amity. I'm Orla. And I play Amity,
Yes.
demigod of redistribution and sassy comments. Our pronouns are she, her, and I will be your security officer. I'm just here to take names and then forget your name because I just murdered you.
Right. Unless it goes on a list. Right, fair. And then last but not least, Diamond.
Hi, I'm James. My pronouns are he, him, and I play Diamond, the demigod of trash. And her pronouns are she, her, or they, them. And she will be your chief engineer for tonight and is working on getting that extra power to you right away, Tyler.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I believe you're also doing the recap for this week, right?
I am. So let's get into that. So, when we last left our intrepid heroes, they had been deep beneath the well, not super deep, but deep enough beneath the ocean in the bay outside of Waterdeep. in a magical submarine that they had gone into with Jarl Axel, where we proceeded to stomp him, surprisingly.
That's fair.
And I've seen his stat block. He's scary. That it went surprisingly well. He had to run away, and we were like, cool, this is our sub now. And as we were like figuring things out, a pyramid, which appeared to be like the one Baros has been using to chase us, descended from above, and there were a whole bunch of lights and weird things, and we watched as our good interdimensional friend Doro there got hit by like a beam of light from it as he was trying to say something, and just bam, disappeared. And fearing for our lives for obvious reasons, we took a look around. We noticed that there were like 2 portals that had opened up as a result of Baros coming through, and there was one that was like real shiny and stuff, and then there was one that was dark, like the Void, and Void was closer, so we were like, gotta go, just dove straight into that one. What's the worst that can happen? Sometimes you dive through the Void portal and you end up in space.
Yeah,
Space.
The Void ended up being the endless darkness of space.
Yeah. But thankfully
we should have seen that coming.
Could have, honestly. Hindsight.
Hindsight 2020, yada yada. But thankfully we weren't just out in like the middle of a star field with no idea where we were going. We had thankfully appeared above our own world. Probably not the one from our original like timeline, world line, whatever you want to go with it, but it at least was Calgun. But it's one of the Calguns that has a world storm. So we started, trying to take track of what we knew based on, the Calguns we've been to that have one of those. We were able to notice that there is a green comet, but it's hidden next to the sun. And we saw the world storm as well, which let us know it's like, okay, we're in the future at some point. And from there, we just started taking stock of the sub, because it's like, okay, well, we're here. We don't seem to be falling. Things should probably be okay. The sub's still functioning, because it's magic. Heck yeah. We tried to figure out how to deal, like, with the comet, because we know what that is now. And also try to deal with the lack of gravity, because that's a problem. We're all just bouncing around. When we hear some voices over the intercom, trying to take hostage the ship and all of us on board it, and we find out that there are a pair of gnomes working here, engineers who know how the submarine works, by the name of Hoden and Nena.
Bonus points for their names. Bonus points if you got their names.
I thankfully, shout out to Mary for writing it down. That's the whole reason we have the names.
Yep. Excellent.
That's the only reason we have the names, yeah.
But from there we managed to negotiate with the gnomes. Beforehand, Yara hands over the magic belt she had and gives it to Magnuson. So now Magnuson's super jacked. And they go. Amity goes down and negotiates with Hoden and Netta, and basically we're like, hey, we're not gonna cut you out of stuff. You can get a share of whatever's going on here. Honestly, we're just trying to make sure we don't die in space. And they're like,
right.
Fair enough.
Right.
After that, Diamond, who's trying to take stock of things and make sure everything's working, realizes that like the water that's in the back of the sub around, what's the term for it?
Ballast.
That's
Ballast.
the word for it. Yeah. The ballast back there, the water was starting to freeze and expand, and Diamond and Ashen went to go check it out. Meanwhile, Amity managed to find like the treasure hold here on the ship, because of course Jarl Axel had a treasure hold on his submarine.
Yeah.
Managed to find some things in there. Magnuson also managed to find some things down in there. Astrid ended up going back to check that out while Diamond was looking at things, and while that was going on, Yara had stayed like on the bridge and cast the augury spell, trying to figure out if we were to throw the green comet meteor into the sun, if that would work out as a good idea, assuming we could pull it off anyways.
Yeah. It's a big
from
if.
there, it's big if, but what can you do?
Yeah.
From there, the submarine took some damage as like the water expanded and started to break, past like the area where it could subsist, and everyone got like shook around. There were like there's also a break in the hull, so we were like vented oxygen and stuff like that, and thankfully Astrid managed to make it back to where Diamond was. The two of them bridged, and a combination between like a heat metal spell, Diamond's ability to fix anything with magic, and then their bridge power, they managed to not only like fix the part of the sub that lets them like jettison the excess water, but also fix the other stuff so that that for the time being we are not venting anything. There are no holes. Right. We are fine.
Right. For right now, it all seems to be going great.
Yeah. After that, we go back to the bridge to fix the panels there, because when Yara got thrown around during stuff, she accidentally like broke part of that, and Diamond went to go fix on that. There's some questions about how Jarlaxle managed to find a Godstone, because that was one of the things Asher managed to find in the treasure hold.
Right.
We contemplate the possibility of abandoning the ship and using the book we have to go to one of the bookmarks we placed. I have it written here that we find Jarlaxle's Bodair that's full of drugs. That is unfortunately a thing that did happen.
I forgot about that.
That
magic
did take, but they did not
mushrooms.
take effect.
Right, his bedside table, when you pull out the drawer, it like has a little mechanism. It just kind of unfolds. And there's like a whole tray of designer drugs, and it's like lined with a mirror. Right, it's just all set up and ready to go.
Go figure. But after
Jarlaxle definitely has one of those buttons, right? Where like if you're in the captain's quarters, he can just like slap a button on the wall. The bed folds down and music starts. There's a disco ball and like red velvet.
We did establish
curtains,
the ceiling was mirrored above the bed.
Right.
There you go.
I remember that from last time.
No, it's half mirrored and half aquarium.
You're right. It's got a skylight, but also the part of it is mirrored and part of it's a skylight.
Jarlaxle's got an aquarium on his submarine, right?
Because he's an asshole.
Such an asshole. Right. Okay. Excellent.
Well, from there, Yara ended up calling a meeting, since most of us were in about the same area, and there was a very intense and interesting conversation about, if we're turning into the very things that Barrow said we would be, which is monsters. A whole lot of discussion goes back and forth about, what we might be between people, and no perfect decision is made on that one. It's a complicated situation there.
That's a hard question to answer. Am I a monster?
It is. From there, Amity, after that particular trying conversation, goes to get high on shrooms.
Fair.
Yara takes a look at
they'd be good. Jarlaxle's got good stuff. Yeah.
I mean, he's an asshole, but I know someone who's got good shit.
His drugs are quality. Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, Yara took the book for a little bit and, figured out some stuff about it, namely that the gold thread that had been put in there, that had been holding back that one line, is slowly failing, but, is holding, for the time being.
Right.
She tried to tear out one of the black pages, but her fingers just, go right through it, so that's wacky and weird, and we don't know what's going on there. She also discovered that the used pages are now just illustrations, but no longer magical. The book itself is technically still magical, so a little weird situation. And we ponder a few ideas on what to do, like finding Barrows immediately, like after we left the Union, if we could find a way to get back. Stuff like that goes on. Yara and I get a chance to go dive into the treasure hoard and go looking for things. Yara finds a portable hole to store things and potentially pull the same trick that Jarlaxle did. And Diamond, after digging through a bunch of things into the bag, finding a secret compartment, going through a whole bunch of stuff, dug out a unbelievably gaudy looking arrow. And after checking it out for a little while,
You forgot about that?
I forgot I gave you that arrow.
You forgot about that.
Because I was using a random table that I used to use for 3.0 D&D, and I forgot how powerful things were. Like just an arrow of God killing. Sure, yeah, it's in there, and you just happen to fucking roll it. Yeah.
Yep. So that's what Diamond found. This unbelievably well crafted but gaudy arrow that is a arrow of God slaying, and that's where we left off.
That's right. All right, so you are then let's just start right there. So who has the arrow in their hand right now? It'd be Diamond, right? So Diamond
presumably,
literally just pulled this thing out.
Presuming the others aren't down here in the treasure hole, because everyone was figuring stuff out. Diamond's looking at that, kind of oh, that's really, I'm gonna be very careful not to touch the head on this.
Yeah.
Be really dumb to like cut my finger on the arrowhead and discharge all the energies and kill myself instantly.
And along the shaft of this arrow, like now that you have like a really good chance to look at it, carved in like microscopic detail, right? Like like a mural on the head of a pin kind of thing, right? All along the shaft of the arrow are little stories, and it's like every god you've ever heard of that's died, right? Or every god that's ever, and then other ones that you haven't heard of that have died, all are etched into this arrow. Just this little tiny story, almost like microfilm. We have to like look really close to even see it. But there's dozens, hundreds of stories etched on this arrow.
That's terrifying. Okay. Yeah, Diamond takes a look at that and then just like very gently places it back like into the case.
Carefully wraps
closes
the head, doesn't touch it. Don't prick your finger, right?
Wraps that back up, like puts it back in, closes the case, puts the latch, and then like takes it, like puts it under one arm, starts heading back. If she sees anybody along the way, she's just like, I need to talk to everyone. If you could, and like gets everybody to like come up to the bridge, basically. Yeah.
Ding 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 ding.
She goes into the middle, hits the Among Us call button. There's like the blah, and everyone's instantly teleported there.
And there is, I mean, again, this is Jarlaxle's summary. There is a big fancy meeting table, for everyone to gather.
He would have one.
Yeah, of course he would. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Diamond, calls for everybody. Gets on like the tube intercom system thing as well, if need be, to call everybody there. But once she gets everyone there,
it's not that big. Like, word gets around quickly. Right?
Wait, am I still stoned?
You were never affected
To get stoned.
when we ended last
Oh, you're
time.
right. I rolled really high on my con check. I forgot.
Well,
that
you
also
could just
we
take
determined.
more, right?
Yeah,
I
you
could just take more.
Yeah, you could, if
Which I
you
probably
want to get
would've.
high, you're going to get high. So I assume you just took more, and now, you're blitzed for this meeting.
Okay.
Also, are the gnomes invited? Because they just show up. So, like, when you call an all-ship meeting, like, there are two little gnomes that are there right away with their little feet dangling, ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, like, Diamond isn't gonna like exclude them, especially because like she doesn't think she can actually like keep them out even if she tried.
Hey, well, voting members.
Yeah, exactly.
So wait, what were their names again? What were they?
Odin and Edna.
Hodin and Edna?
Odin and Edna.
ENNA.
Sorry.
Enna. Hodin and Enna.
Oh,
Right.
Anna. I thought it was Edda.
Yeah.
Anna.
Enna. Hodin and Enna. Yeah, like
How did we decide they were Norwegian?
like if there's gonna be a vote, like we're gonna vote too. Like we're gonna be heard. Yeah, we're gonna be heard.
Yeah, Diamond, it's just like that's fine. No, I'm not excluding anyone from anything. Just that there is something that is, somewhat important that I just found. I was going through.
Well,
the,
wait. Are we gonna take notes? Because if we're gonna order new business, we gotta call new business. And the first thing we should do is, was there any old business?
I don't think so. I think we solved all our
Business.
old business at the last meeting thing that we did.
Okay, well, if there was no old business, then I'm gonna open the floor to new business. Does anyone object to me opening the floor to new business?
Do we need to go through all the hoops?
Okay, good.
Can we just
so,
not talk?
So, processes are what keep us civilized. So, I'm gonna call new business. Everyone, do I get a second? I second new business. New business has been seconded. Chairman Diamond, go right ahead with your new business.
Thank you. And Diamond just turns to look at everyone and says, so, my new business is that I was going through the hold full of treasure, trying to help catalog everything and see what was going on, and I happened to find something in the back. It was a secret compartment of some sort that was probably not meant to be found, but she just waves hey, what can you do? And she's like, I looked inside, I had to undo some traps and did some locks, and I found a case in there. And so I looked inside the case, and there was an item in there, and I really don't want to talk about it because it scares me, but we should probably know that it's, everyone should probably be made aware that we have it. So she, goes and undoes the latch and, turns it around and pops the top up to show everyone. You can see most of the arrow, the head is obviously wrapped up, and she says, just so we're clear, no one touched this because it's incredibly dangerous, but this is an arrow of slaying. Specifically God slaying.
Close it. Close it, please. Close it.
Yeah, she'll close the top and like latch it again.
The gnomes
just
just
for
kind of like look at
imagery's
each other
sake-
and like look like the gnomes look at each other, kind of shrug at each other, and then like show some
Yeah,
particular.
they're fine.
Yeah.
just for like setting the scene's sake, Amity at this point is like lying, like feet up against the wall, back on the floor, like
Yeah.
head hanging upside down, eating crackers and laughing.
Yo, she gonna
but
be
yeah.
okay?
Probably.
Yeah, she'll be
Is-
fine.
It's a thing. It happens.
You said arrow of Godslaying, not gnomes, right?
Yes. No. It is an era of God.
Theoretically, if the gnome was a god or a demigod, then it could slay a gnome.
Nothing to worry about there. Okay, you know what? Second order of new business. We should get out of space.
Yes, that is another thing I wanted to bring up, since that is something that we need to think about. And like Diamond sort of like looks back towards the planet in the background, and then looks and says,
It's a work in progress.
Roll perception when you look back at the planet.
"Sure, that's not something that instantly
Still
fills me full
there?
of fear."
Never mind. I'll wait.
That's a 17 total.
Okay, so you look out the front window, or like there's like so the I would say that this room and Jaraxel's room is in the back, right? And like there's like a big
Yeah.
glass window in the back that's that you can half look out of with this mirrored ceiling, and so you're looking out over this scene, and as you look at the planet, like you just glance at it and you look back, but something caught your eye, so you look back at it and there's a reflection. And at first you thought it was just the planet, but there's a reflection over the planet of another planet.
Okay. Yeah, Diamond sort of like stops and then like squints, and then she sort of like makes like a motion with like one hand as if to like be like hey everyone, and like points and says, "Can anyone else see something strange happening with the planet?"
Yara goes over to check it out.
I will also go to take a look.
So you all look and you see the same thing. You see this reflection laid over the planet, and clearly something is being reflected over it, but the ship's not positioned where you can see what it is.
Should I?
So it's like an illusion?
You're not sure.
Or could this be like on the glass? Should we just look at another window?
Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely.
We all move to different windows to see if
Yeah.
it still maintains.
So you all start moving to different windows, and you can't see anything that would be reflecting like this is. Like there's it's some sort of like the planet seems mostly orange. I mean, you're only seeing this transparent reflection of it, but it's definitely a different world. But you're not seeing it out of any of the other windows.
Amity just touches the glass.
It's just glass.
pokes it.
Yeah, it hums with magical energy, but it's just a glass.
But it was magic anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like it was already a magic submarine, so that doesn't seem weird.
Yo, do you guys want to see what's if you try to see the thing, you can look in the monitor, you can look in the, we got
I'll
equipment.
head over to the monitor.
Yeah, and it's
Show
like,
me.
It's like wireframe designs. It's like very Atron, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but he's just like, well, like he's like showing like there's dots. Like there's a big dot that represents the sun. There's a dot that represents cowl gun. There's a blinking dot of where you are, and then there's another dot, same size as cowl gun, same distance from the sun as cowl gun, on the exact opposite side of the sun to where you are.
So
Same speed, maintaining perfect synchronicity.
Is the comet also within this radar?
Yeah, absolutely.
As a celestial body?
The comet is like midway between both of these planets.
So it's next. So it's this.
It's much, much further away, but it's midway
Oh,
between.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's the sun and then some planets, and then it's way up that way. Okay,
Yep.
got it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so
But do we know for sure that either one of these is Calgun?
Well, the one below you, you were able to recognize some land masses, and that
And we
it
saw the
has a
world
world
storm.
storm. So
Yeah.
those
Can
two
we?
things.
Are we able to move?
I mean, theoretically, yeah. I mean, like the propulsion is like, it's like what it does is it takes magic and it turns magic into like, push energy, and then the push energy comes out the back and it goes push push, and the ship goes forward. So I don't see why that also would not work in space.
Can you show me
But
how it works?
Yeah, and he walks you to the front of the ship, and there's like a big seat for Jarlaxle, and there's a lever, and the lever is like front and back, right? And then in front of him are two different stations, and one station makes the ship go up and down, and one station makes the ship go left and right. And when Jarlaxle pushes a lever on his chair, it just makes a light go on the station of who's ever actually supposed to do it. So it's just like this big elaborate way of
So-
Jarlaxle bark out orders.
So, how do we all feel about wanting to start moving?
it might be a good idea. Are you thinking?
Woo,
trying
go
to
for
look
it.
at
Yeah.
that other
I
planet?
just, well, I would like to try to see what's going on with other planet, and also, like, a little lower on the priority list to get a closer look at the comet.
Yara speaks up and says, "We don't know what's going on. We should just watch for a little bit, see if something happens."
Right. I just want to watch a little closer.
Well, if you guys want to watch, if you don't mind, I could go off to a room. I want to try something with the Lady Dreaming while we have a quiet moment.
All right.
Well, if you wanted to go to the other, like go around the sun, basically, right? They think they can do it. It's going to take a couple hours to get there. We would probably take a lot longer. We're going to say it's going to take a couple hours. It's going to take a couple hours.
It's magic. Don't worry
Right,
about
it's
it.
magic, whatever. Like magic, space, blah blah blah. Yeah. So it's going to take a couple hours to get around, right, and make it here. So, in that time, what would everyone want to do?
I want to cast Purify Food on all the rest of the drugs that Amity hasn't eaten.
They're gonna wipe out all the drugs.
Oh,
Does that
no.
work? Is that
You're gonna
what happens when you
You're
cast
gonna make
Purify?
everything a placebo. Oh, poor Amity.
When you cast Purify
I'm
Food,
gonna be
does
so
it
pissed.
does it eliminate drugs? I mean, if the things
Yeah,
are,
I
Let me
actually
see.
don't know that that's even makes any sense.
I think you just
all
preserve the
non-magical food.
drugs.
So all non-magical food and drink within a 5-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice within range is purified and rendered free of poison and disease.
Right.
So unless this is magic drugs.
Okay, but that's a very specific definition of poison. Hallucinogenics are actually not poisons. Unlike alcohol, it would make things unalcoholic, but hallucinogenic effects are actually not a poison effect,
Yeah. I'm gonna have to say that. I'm gonna say that-
biologically speaking.
yeah, like
Not, it doesn't
if
have to be all the drugs.
but also like if the drugs aren't specifically food, like I guess it would take out the mushrooms, right?
Yeah.
But if it's not specifically food and or drink, like if there was weed in there, like
Yeah,
or
that's
like
different.
pipe tobacco, like it would just be like you're not going to eat that. It would just be like fine. So I would say yes. So you take out all the mushrooms. The mushrooms are rendered inert and
And maybe
tasty.
like some berries or whatever else. But
Hell
like,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
and all the alcohol, I guess.
That's right. Oh, you're really going to wipe out all the alcohol?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, there's a
No,
couple-
no.
Why are you doing this?
No. The alcohol is really good.
You'd have to cast it a couple times because there's a couple
Jarlaxle's
different
I
locations.
think
alcohol is
I'll cast
really
it.
good.
I'll cast it twice.
Right.
So that's 10 minutes each.
Yeah. So
So-
there's like so there's a couple barrels of like dwarven ale in the hold. Okay.
Oh.
Then Jarlaxle's got his own private stash of like the finest
The
elven
wine.
wines and brandies, right?
No, you
And
can't kill the wine.
Then there's like a general stock in like the kitchen, right? So there's 3 different locations where there's alcohol if you want to take all of it out.
I'm gonna roll a D3.
And I'm in none of those places, so that's 4 locations.
That's right. That's right.
Well, and his
Whatever
boudoir.
Amity has on,
his
on
boudoir
the-
has the drugs in it, so that's 5 locations.
It's true.
The dwarven ale is now non-alcoholic.
Nice. Okay, you're also
Why?
taking. You also have like 8 hours, so you can take an 8-hour. Like you guys can take a long rest during this time as well.
Excellent. I gotta spend hit dice to get myself back up to full.
Excellent.
Wait, you lost hit points? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We lost it when we hit everything.
Yeah, when we got thrown around inside the ship.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shoot, I may have accidentally erased that.
Oh,
I
no.
mean, it's fine.
I'll spend a hit dice. I'll spend 2 hit dice. How's that
It's
sound? There we
fine.
go.
I mean, you guys, with a full rest, you guys can certainly get each other. There you go. Yeah. You guys can certainly get each other up and running. No problems at all.
At this point, should we tell the audience that we leveled up and tell them what we took?
Oh, yeah, you guys did. You guys leveled up, right? You went from, you now, you want to say 4th level or 5th level?
7th level.
Sorry.
We're on
It's
7th
been a
level?
while since we've played. Wait. It's not 7th
Yeah, we're
level.
7th.
We're
It's
7th.
7th level.
We are 7th level.
7th level.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we played. We are at 7th level. Yes. Okay. So you went from.
Oh, does anyone want to do anything else before we take a long rest? I'm sorry. I'm kind of.
Well, Ashwin was going to do a thing, but we can do that during or after the long rest.
I like that.
Okay.
Okay. So what else? So what like new abilities and like powers do you all have at your 7th level?
Diane?
Well, I finally made it
Oh, yeah.
official with Oath of Vengeance.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you finally got your oath. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, you know, I can, I now have 2 different ways of marking someone out as my sworn enemy.
Can you use both on one?
I can use both, yes. Not on the same turn because they're both bonus actions, but
Right.
yes, I can use both. They stack. One gives me advantage, one gives me extra damage.
Right.
I also have Hunter's Mark, so I can basically just hunt someone down to the
Yeah.
ends of the earth indefinitely, really.
Right. Don't piss you
Gotcha.
off. Is basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea. Right. Gotcha. All right. Fair. Good. Smart. Who else?
I took a 4th level in Druid. I just bumped up my wisdom by 4, so now I have a 22 wisdom.
Smart.
24 passive perception, a plus 9 to hit spells, and a DC 17 saving throw for Druid spells.
Which our characters can do because they are demigods, so they can bump up their stats way past, well, not way past, but like past 20 up to 24. Which is-
Isn't it the rule like the stat that your god is based in? You can
Correct.
bump up, but everything else has to be normal rules.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. Exactly. So every demigod is locked into, like if your daddy god was the god of strength, and you're the god of, I don't know, biceps, right? You're the demigod of biceps. So you would also have a strength that where you can raise strength to 24 and be super beefy boy. If you're demigod of beefy boys.
It's me, super beefy boy.
Which begs the question on things like giants, honestly, because they're naturally stronger. So would you, let's say
Right.
you were doing a giant son of god of strength, would it be even higher than that, or?
Yeah, but so if it was the god of strength, it would be higher, obviously, because they go up to 30. But if it was the demigod of, let's say, what will be a strength thing that you could play off that the demigod of like lifting, I don't know, the demigod of carrying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it was something like that, like I'd find a way for it to work. Obviously, if the giant strength was higher than 24, then yeah, you'd have to do something. I don't know though. We'd figure it out.
Burn that bridge when you get there.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I think that's one of those ones that falls under like talk to your GM to figure out what you're gonna do on that
Yeah.
one, basically.
I mean, my initial instinct would be just have him be, slightly stronger than other types of his giant would be my first instinct. Yeah. Give him,
Makes sense.
Make it be something, right? Yeah. Also, he'd have other strength things he can do, right? You'd find a way to make it work. But I also, like, if I was gonna have, I don't think I've cast the God of Strength yet. We don't have a new God of Strength yet, and like part of me is like I want it to be a pixie, right? Because how great would that be? It's this tiny little like, way up. It's like,
Super
what?
tiny, picks up a whole ass boulder, just wah!
How
Breaks
great
a
would that
mountain.
be?
Terrifying.
That's what I want. I think I'm gonna have to
Absolutely horrifying.
do that. Yeah. Don't come back, right? Just like flipping people, right?
Yeah, but who else wanted to mention what they got?
I just got another level in Paladin. I
Hey,
got a little
single
bit-
class squad.
I just my demigodness is starting to get a little bit more effective in what I can sense and how I am as a commanding presence in the room.
Yeah.
Neat.
And you know that makes sense for you because you are basically stuck to, I am a protecting paladin guy with a shield and all these spells that help you. So yeah, that makes sense. I like that. All right, good. Anyone else?
I took another level of my class and the demigod power. Oh, I have a 4th level spell now.
Nice.
My demigod power I took was the ability to make the Mantle of Whispers permanent, which is what Ashrin is going to do with the Lady Dreaming.
All right, speaking of that, actually, so you have gone back to your room.
Did anybody else not go?
Sorry.
I took another level of Artificer. Now I can point at people and say, hey, do better.
Oh yeah, with the intelligence bonus, right?
Yeah, I have Flash of Genius, so I can be like, I'm like, hey, do it like this, and then you get like my intelligence modifier to your roll. It's like, yeah, that sort of thing. Also, my demigod level of ability, I enhanced my trash sense, so I can now cast True Scene on myself whenever I want.
You've just made like a bunch of like YouTube videos of how to do X, Y, and Z, and that anytime you can pull them up and show the rest of the crew. Like, oh right, okay, right. And then
here's my DIY project on what you're doing.
Exactly. All right, excellent. So, Ashrin, you are back in your room. These rooms are small, right? They are, so there's like, they basically have like a sleeping bag tied to each corner. So it leans at kind of like a 60-degree angle, but like, so you're just kind of like laying back and you're kind of suspended by it, but there's not even enough room to like lay it fully out. You're basically in a walk-in closet for a room. So how are you doing this?
What she wanted to do was, because they're in 0G, it's kind of like water bending.
Yeah.
Was to open the Lady Dreaming's vase, or the clay pot that she was in, and have it sort of envelop all around her skin and like completely cover her, condense to ice, and then break apart, revealing that she's changed into it.
How are you going to condense it to ice?
That is a good question. I think by taking pieces of what's outside the ship, because outside is freezing cold, as they discovered last time.
Totally.
And using that energy or lack thereof to freeze the ice.
All right,
basically a reverse heat metal.
Yeah, and you can do this because there's powerful strands of energy that run all throughout this vessel, and the wings of this manta ray-like thing are pure magical energy. They're just force energy that shift and move the ship around. So you're very easily able to reach out and touch this. So as this water spills out of this jug, seemingly too much to be in there, and forms around you, and this kind of like pool of water that
almost chrysalis like.
Yeah, that just kind of condenses down to this thin layer all around you that then freezes for a moment into kind of this transparent statue that just wildly distorts your figures and shows her, then shows you, then shows a combination of both of you, and then shatters, and there's just silence as all these little, microscopic crystals of ice kind of dance around you and catch the light as you just float.
I guess one of the first things I do is find a window or something metal to see what I look like.
Okay. How do you wish to look?
Just by going up to it and maybe like lifting my hand in front of my face and seeing if I've changed.
I meant like, what do you... I'm sorry, like, what do you wish to look like? I should have phrased that differently.
Oh, she's assuming that she's turned into the Lady Dreaming.
Yeah. Well, I would say this then. Do you want to look like you, or do you want to look like her?
Her.
Okay. Then you look like her. To you, you look like you. So if you look at your hand, it looks like your hand. When you look up and you catch a reflection in the window, it looks like her. So to everyone else, you look like her, but to you, you look like you.
Okay.
Yeah. She's taller than you are. So you're weirdly like a couple inches taller, right? Even though you're still seeing yourself as not, but you are.
And the clothes don't actually fit anymore.
No, everything's incredibly tight, and like it's like you're kind of wearing a a crop top? Were you wearing a shirt before, right? That kind of thing. Yeah.
Interesting.
Feel different. You are walking in other skin. You know what I mean? Like it's you, but it's not you.
And I guess I want to try to reach through her to see what she knows, what she's experienced, to see a little bit more of Besa, to see how Waterdeep may be connected to our world, to see the gods of Waterdeep, anything that's from her experience.
So as you're reaching out and trying to connect, it feels like static, like a lot of interference, like there's something getting in the way between your connection, even though you feel her more present right now than you have before. As you're doing that, the book just kind of flips open on a table in front of you, and the pages flutter by for a moment until it sits open about a third of the way in from the opening. So if you open from the cover and went about a third in, that's where it's sitting.
What is there?
It shows the planet. So it shows a drawing of the planet outside the window, but it's not the one, and it's the same shape, it's the same size as the one that you guys are pulling away from, right? But it's orange and brown, and where there's lots of oceans on this one that you know, on this other Calgon, it's dry and arid and rocky. There's no storm. There's just this dry planet. And the one a bunch of the pages flip over again, and now you're a little bit past the middle, about a third from the back, and you're seeing the planet outside your window, this green and blue sphere with clouds and a world storm spinning in front of you. So both of these planets are represented in the book, one about a third in and one about a third to the end.
Are they just drawings, or are they the kind of pictures on the paper that we could go through?
So you feel they're just drawings, right?
Okay.
There's an energy and there's something going on, because when you flip back and forth, the drawings have updated to show the most recent image outside your window, but they are just drawings. They're not moving. There's no connection. You can't pass through it. You can't connect with that. And when you try to form that connection, it just kind of fades out into the world all around you, as if you're already here.
Okay.
When you start to pass around the edge of the sun, and the world, the Calgon that you know, begins to fall away.
Ashwin will stay like this for a while, just thinking and trying to figure out if she can feel anything more from the lady.
I would like you to roll your divinity. Just roll a d20 plus your modifier. And we're going to roll a die. It's actually Dungeons and Dragons.
Ooh.
24.
24. Okay. So you sit there and you meditate and think upon these thoughts. So I'm going to come back to you in a moment. Does anyone else want to talk about what they're doing on your way to this other planet?
I know Diamond is probably, she recovers the arrow for one thing and puts that away in her bag. Like,
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna, this is somewhere where we know it is, and it will hopefully not, harm anyone.
There's even thinking that, thought. Hopefully, it won't harm anyone. You can feel the arrow inside the case vibrate, like with excitement at the thought of violence.
Ooh. Yeah, Diamond's just like, like looks at it for a moment and sort of like holds the case up, I think, and like pops the latch, like it looks inside.
You know when
She,
you
like-
hold something dangerous
Yeah.
Right, like you know it's dangerous, and like just the act of holding it, you're like, this at any second could fucking kill me. Like that's how this feels right now. It feels like holding a backyard built flamethrower. Right? You know, like, oh, it works and it's cool, but any second
But boy,
now.
if I tweak this wrong.
Yeah, I could just blow the hell up. You didn't make it. Like someone else made this backyard flamethrower. You're just kind of on trust right now. Yeah.
She like pops the latch on the box, like opens it up to look at it for a moment, like squints one eye, and she's just like, I want you and I to have an understanding. You're not going to do anything until it's absolutely necessary. Understand? And just like stares at it.
The edges, all these drawings along the edge of the arrow, just a very slight glint as if sunlight hit all of them at once, and they all flare, and you hear voices agreeing. The voices of those who fired the bow before are all agreeing, and they just kind of like echoes in your mind and then fades away.
Okay. So Diamond, like, you know, like a little surprised at that, but again, she's dealt with magic items and stuff before. That's like her area of expertise. So she just nods and she says, all right, so long as we have an agreement. And she like closes the case and, you know, we'll latch it shut and then
pact is sealed.
And she's like, all right, stop that. But probably also gets like some twine or something like that and ties that around just to be extra sure. Because
puts it in a bag, puts the bag in cement, puts the lock around that, catches that on fire, throws it out the window. Right, gotcha.
Yeah. Well, yeah, ties it up with twine just to make double sure, because, you know, putting it in the bag of holding, and she puts it in there and is just like, okay, I'm gonna worry about that later.
Yeah, fair enough.
Past that, she's going to spend her time, you know, like for her, it's just like doing like general check-ins with like Hoden down and make sure, like, okay, you know, what still needs looking at, you know, light activities, you know, for her really is just like going in, you know, like tightening down stuff, making sure everything is properly the way it is, and then
the gnomes have a list. Like if you want to help, like we have there's like a whole work order like on. So there's like they have a little tag system. So if something on the ship is broken but not vital, they hang a little tag off it. So along, like in the back of the ship, outside of some more of the visual areas, like there are probably a dozen tags already hanging. Some of them a little yellowed and water stained where they've been there for a while. So there are plenty of things on this ship that need fixing.
That's what she's going to focus on then, because it's like, you know, we don't know what the situation is. We don't know, you know, how much, you know, any of these things might become important later on. So her light activity, you know, over the course of the next couple of hours is just going to be, she's going to focus on, like, it's like, okay, you know, she's having the skill she does, she tries to take care of things, you know, manually as much as she can, and where stuff is like, I don't have the requisite materials or, you know, anything like that, it's just like, cool, you know, like hands on, you know, and is just gonna like mend her way through to, you know, past that to just do that. And like, you know, that's her game plan, along with like as she goes, you know, like, you know, it's a mixture of like both like, okay, I'm fixing these things, but she is just like mental mapping this thing and like getting an idea of like, okay, how does it work, with the intent to be just like, I'm going to try and learn as much as possible, and if need be we'll go and get Hoden and Enna and be like, what's this and why does it work the way it does, you know, like stuff like that.
You're kind of settling in like this, you know, like you're like, okay, if we're gonna be on this ship for a while, you know, I need to know what it can do. All right, fair enough. All right, excellent. Yep. And then Ebony, I would say that when you went back to like re-up, like when you went back to get more drugs, right, and some of them have been ruined, right, and you're not sure exactly how. It's like either they're gone or they're missing, but you're like going through more of Jarlaxle's private cabin, and I need you to roll a perception. Yes.
Gonna roll a dice.
All right. Ooh, exciting.
Roll perception to notice that you are in fact high.
Oops. Little. You have to
15.
work. 15. You have to work on the. It's a little hard to see your die. I'll have to fix that. Okay, so 15. So you're kind of going through, you know, a little drunk and high, a little out of it, just pulling open drawers, and you kind of like stumble and you reach up and grab like a coat hook, and it just kind of leans forward, and you hear a click, and like a bit of the wall shuffles to the side, and it's like dark inside with like a glass tube, and there's some sort of dark smoke inside the tube.
I love hidden compartments. That's where dumb rich people put all the best shit.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
What is I'm run right in there? What is in there?
All right, so as you go forward to, look, you're startled as this face presses, like comes out of this smoke and inside the tube and presses against a glass, and there's someone unconscious, handsome, and just kind of slides down the front and then falls back into the smoke again.
Hello?
It's like nothing, no response.
I kind of go up to the glass tube and I like tap on the glass like you're not meant to do at zoos.
There you go, tap, tap, and on the third tap, there's a and it vents all of the smoke inside. You cough for a moment, but only because it's like heavily perfumed. You feel fine, and as it fades away, there is a very naked Jarlaxle in this tube in front of you.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Yep.
Is he conscious?
No.
I hit him over the head with something.
Was in a glass tube. Do you want to get?
Was he still in the tube? Is the tube sealed?
There's like
he's
a little handle. There's like a little handle that you could pop it open. Yeah. But he's out already. Like he's unconscious.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so you're gonna pop it open and hit him. There's rope too. There's lots of rope. It is.
So I'm like holding the knife.
Right.
I'm thinking about it. Oh, Yara will be so mad at me.
So as you're thinking about this and looking, like this Jarlaxle looks a little different than the Jarlaxle you just faced. Like if the Jarlaxle you just faced was in the equivalent of their 40s, this Jarlaxle looks in their 20s.
I go to open the tube and then I stop and I yell for the others instead.
Smart.
So I yell, Dad, naked dude, elf man thing, help, consider options, crew, please. Yes.
Oh,
let's
gee,
go.
hey, listen, I don't want to interrupt. I don't want to tell you what to do here, but again, I'm not trying to shame.
I will stab
like
the first person to make an innuendo. I need you to just
your preferences are your preferences.
I will literally knife in my hand. Knife in my hand.
This doesn't seem like the smartest idea.
My hand.
Do you have a lot of relationship issues? Are you not close with your mother?
Oh, the extent to which you don't want to bring my mother into this.
So you all gather, I assume. You break from your. Would you remain in your room, Ash? Would you remain in your room? Okay, so all of you gather except Ashford, right? And
actually, I'm not there either.
And Magnuson. So you all gather.
As soon as I
Ashford
hear
and
them
Magnuson.
coming, I don't really wait. Like I'm just wait till I can hear that they are about to come into the room, and I finish threatening the gnomes. And
right. He didn't mean nothing, lady. It's just kind of weird that you're in the room naked with this guy.
Up. I'm not naked. He's naked.
Right. Oh, no, he's naked. You're not naked. Not yet. I guess we came early.
What's this
Stabbing.
about someone being
Remember the
naked?
thing about the stabbing?
Hey, it's like, you don't have to threaten us. I guess we're used to that,
I
though.
do apparently
The last
need to
crew
threaten
threatened
you.
us whenever they wanted something too, so this actually just makes us feel like, oh,
for
nice.
That's really sad. That's
Oh no!
so unbelievably sad. I'm
Thanks
just
for
gonna
making us
ignore
feel
you
welcome,
now.
lady.
I just gotta stop listening to what you're saying now for my own sanity.
Right, because
But
naked
that's-
Jarlaxle. Right, yeah.
Yeah, so I open the tube.
Yara comes around the corner and says, "It's like my mother always says: never make threats you're not willing to immediately implement."
That's what your mom
They
always said?
pushed me for a few
It was
more
stitched
minutes.
on a pillow somewhere, was it?
There'll be some implementation in a minute.
She had a lot of sags.
Right. Most were violent.
So I kind of grab hold of the shoulders of the nigger, kind of like fling them out onto the floor.
What are you doing?
All right, so
Just I'm working.
as the doors open, the lights drop down like low and then like tinge red, and this music kind of like boom,
Some saxophone.
Of course.
The light kind of shifts, right? And like there's
what's wrong with this guy?
there's like the scent
A
of
lot.
lavender that kind of comes
Was
in,
he sleeping with himself?
and he sits right up and he's like, Hey, you. Oh,
I have a knife to his throat.
oh. Wow. Like
don't
that,
speak.
is
Do
it?
not. Don't say. I do not say anything.
So like,
Just sit there in silence for a moment. Seriously.
where's Laxi?
Oh no. No, he actually was fucking himself. Oh my god.
That's disgusting, but also
Wow,
Diamond's just
okay.
like standing there, having like come in like in the middle of the like sounds and all that. And it's just like, what did you do?
I wasn't me. This guy had issues.
You
Like, I mean,
what?
all of us need therapy, but this guy needed fucking therapy.
All right, okay. Diamond's just gonna go over to like this other Jarlaxle and sort of like kneel down a bit, like looking at him. And it's just like, you mentioned Laxi. I presume you mean Jarlaxle.
Yeah. Where's
This was his therapy.
Where's
No,
Daddy?
I don't think I don't. Oh no.
Yeah, Diamond just gestures and it's just like,
Amedee's just like, I gotta leave. I have to leave. I have to leave this room now.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
I've never wanted to fling myself into the vacuum of space more.
And you've succeeded, and we're done. Thank you for joining us.
That's it. I Diamond, where's the arrow of Godsfall? Seriously, just
All right, just everyone just stab themselves, and we're out.
yeah, Diamond's just like you're like reaching, like give me the arrow. And she's like, no, and just like slaps your hands away.
Not yet. Not yet. Soon. Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, I go into the bedroom again and I go
Yeah.
find him some fucking clothes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like, you know, everything that would have looked really good on Jarlaxle looks just a little bit better on this guy.
He really had issues.
What we've got here is Jarlaxle plus the premium edition.
I just
Jarlaxle plus
throw
youth.
some random ass clothes at him. I'm just like, put
Emily,
those on.
what did you do?
I didn't do it. I found it. I found him.
So it's like a big blousey button down, which he immediately ties at the bottom, so the whole
course.
stomach
He
is
wasn't
exposed.
in here when I was here earlier.
Yeah,
So
but
you had to
yes,
do
he was.
something.
You just didn't find the hidden door.
You opened a hidden door.
I don't get to wear the good
No,
stuff. This is
I
nice.
ate it.
So like Diamond's like looking to this like, you know, not quite Jarlaxle, and you know, at some point she's like, so you're not Jarlaxle. What is your name? Who are you?
Oh well, I didn't really have a name. Like I'm
Of course he doesn't.
I'm a clone. I'm
Yeah.
Jarlaxle, but like up to a certain point, right? And he kind of kept me locked in that kind of place. So like I only remember up until then, but I remember wanting to make it. And I remember thinking it was really fucking hot. And now I'm there.
No. Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so what are we doing? Is it a group scene?
Nope. No,
Not-
you need
not
to
that.
just sit there in silence. It's a scene of silence. A scene of you don't fucking say anything.
Oh, I
right?
see it. Okay. So, like,
Starting now.
the little ones are always doms. Zip, makes little zip motion and then just sits there quietly, sipping a wine. Like somehow has poured themselves a wine and like this, like no
Somewhere in
one
the
knows
midst of all
how,
that, yeah.
no one knows
Where
where
did
it
he
came
get the
from,
wine?
but has somehow poured themselves a really tall glass of wine.
This is the nightmare scenario.
It's before we go too crazy with that. This other person who is not Jarlaxle, I feel like maybe you might be getting a bit ahead on judging them, because while they might be apparently a clone, that doesn't mean that they are Jarlaxle, which I feel that's kind of insulting to their own identity, since they are their own.
I'm not judging
person
them
here.
because I think they're Jarlaxle. I'm judging Jarlaxle for all of this.
I think that is fair. I think that
Yeah.
is fair. That
That's
is
where
that is
I'm
a
at
certain level of
currently.
narcissism involved in doing something.
I mean, the
like that.
mirrors were bad enough, but you know what? Everyone likes to know how they look sometimes. That's not that weird. It's a little weird, but it's not crazy weird. This is crazy weird.
Well, yes, but that seems to sum up most of everything we've been dealing with lately. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
no, I mean, I should have known. I should have known, really, because the aquarium.
Right. I mean, it's
just-
weird that he keeps him on the submarine, right? It's like,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I mean, this is like that. Honestly, it's a lot. This is the next logical step from being the person who has an aquarium on a submarine.
Right, of course. They're
Honestly,
also kind of a fuck doll of themselves. Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Aquarium, personal
No, it's like
submarine.
it's a straight line.
Right, right, exactly. There's a lot of drugs on that straight line, but it's a straight line.
Not anymore.
So he seems. I mean, he's quiet. So he's perfectly happy just to sip wine and look around the room.
It's
Are
not,
we
I
in
don't have a,
space? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
supposed to be
we
quiet.
are.
I'm sorry.
no, you know what? It's
Carry
fine.
on.
No, it's fine. My concern, and no, I don't really want to call you Jarlaxle. This is my problem.
I'm not
I have
Jarlaxle. I'm a clone. I don't know if I explained
Yeah.
that.
No, you
Yeah.
did. So I want to call you something. I feel like you should have a name because this makes me intensely uncomfortable. But I just need you to have a name, and I don't really want to name you because that's just like a level of responsibility that I'm personally not willing to take on. So if
You
we
have a
could
preference.
if you had a name maybe that you liked, that would be great.
Oh, for me? A name for
for
me?
you. For you.
Yeah.
Anything but Jarlaxle.
Right, because my first thought was Jarlaxle.
No, I
Because-
could see it on your face.
Because I was
no.
thinking
Anything but
Jarlaxle.
that.
Anything
Yeah, no,
but
anything else.
Jarlaxle. All
Anything
right.
but Jarlaxle. Yeah.
How about if you called me Carl?
I can
Works.
call you Carl. Yeah.
I like that
I'm-
name.
yeah,
I've
I'm
heard
okay with
name.
that.
One time we did a little pickup at this party, and it was
certainly don't wanna know.
it was a couple. It was Justine and Carl, and Carl was special. Carl was really sweet.
Good.
Treated me
Okay,
with a lot
let's
of
end the story
respect.
there on that fun note. That was
Okay.
a
Yara
fun,
is
fun place to end the story.
So, anyways, what are your names?
Oh, I am Diamond. It is nice to meet you, Carl. And she'll
Diamond,
go over
nice
and like shake hands.
The rat can talk. Neat.
Oh, Lord.
Okay,
Yes,
nice to meet you, rat. The dwarf.
Raccoon, but yes.
Raccoon, technically.
Right. Okay. The dwarf is named. Wait. I'm sorry. The
No,
dwarf's not here.
Mag's not here.
Right.
Max
Mag's not here.
isn't here and Astrid isn't here, so
Right.
it's yeah.
Who's
I'm-
the child? Who's the kid? Hello.
Yeah,
Honestly,
you just,
he could be
you just see
referring to
Yara,
me
like,
or Yara.
No, definitely,
You just-
definitely referring to
You just see
Amity.
Yara. You just see Yara like by the door,
Right.
arms crossed, leaning against it, pissed off, and glaring daggers at Amity.
Okay. Why is the hippie so mad?
That's Yara. She just doesn't like it when she doesn't get her own way. And my name is Amity.
Oh, well, hello, little one. And who's are you?
I will stab you in the throat. So I need you to back up
Spicy.
out of
Pardon
my
me.
personal space.
I'm sorry. The
so-
little halflings do not like to be called kids, but it's so fun. You can just pick
Super
them up.
don't. No, it's great, but I have all these knives, so that's also
That
really
is a
funny.
problem. It's like with the cat.
No, it's really
like,
funny
they're
knives.
Super cute, but they got all these knives.
Got all these knives. So cool. Nice to meet you, Carl. So
to meet
here's
you.
my issue, Diamond. Just redirecting the conversation for 1 second away from all of that.
Yes.
So this is fine and great and dandy. Obviously, it's not Carl's fault. Really, just that I could end the sentence there. Any of it. So I am angry,
Thank
but
you.
not at him. Well, a little now, but you
I
kind
really
of
like all this positive reinforcement. I'm not really
you're-
used to
you're-
it. It's something new.
Oh Lord. Okay, so but my concern is the level of responsibility that we have now
Yes.
towards someone who appears to be not necessarily fully
Oh, I assure you, I'm fully
Nope.
formed.
Nope. Stop that. You just stop that right there. Fully integrated into the world. I'm trying to avoid the word mature.
You
get where I'm going
from
with this?
releasing him in the first place.
I'm sorry, I heard someone who doesn't always get their own way. So we obviously can't leave him imprisoned because that would be horrific. But there's a level of responsibility that we're not necessarily in a position to take on here. I think that's what I'm raising.
Diamond sort of nods and says, well, I suppose that raises the question of what you want to do. Carl is now awake and is here and is conscious. Carl, I don't know if you're amenable to possibly going back into the strange tube.
I would prefer not to. I am out. It's been a while. I feel like I stretched my legs. Do you have any brandy?
Probably over there. Like points to like one of the cabinets.
Just goes traipsing over, right? You realize now that he's just wearing the shirt and nothing else.
Put on the fucking pants, Carl.
Right? Just kind of flops over, grabs a brandy and 2 glasses, flops back over. What was that? And he just kind of crosses his legs, so
Put
like
them on.
it's like he's covered, but like he's not.
3 knives appear in Amity's hand.
Right. Oh, fine. And puts on like the tightest pair of pants.
That's fine, so long as they're pants.
Assless, but they're pants, yeah.
We take what we can get.
So do I.
Diamond turns back to Ebony and says, regardless, he is here now, and while you're worried about responsibility, he might not be fully integrated into everything as we understand it, but he is obviously, has full faculties, seems to understand basics of how things work. He can take care of himself to a certain degree.
Yeah, it's the relative... For example, with all of us, we take a certain degree of relativity when it comes to ages and maturity, because we know that people mature at different rates, and especially between the different, species. But this is a circumstance where someone was perhaps force matured physically. So therefore, my concern is he a fucking child?
You said that as far as your mental faculties go, you're a template of Jarlaxle up to a certain point, correct?
Correct. I am Jarlaxle when he was 127. It's a good year.
So there you
us.
go. Mentally, he is at the equivalent to the age of 127. Physically, his body could be how long it's been active since then. It raises questions, definitely, but for all intents and purposes, that is the mind of an adult.
I mean,
Okay,
I'm older
I can
than
accept
that
that.
one, and points to Yara, and that one's a rat.
Yeah, you're not actually... You don't get a vote just yet. You might get a vote later, but we're still deciding if you're at voting
Oh,
time.
no, I'm sorry. No, you just keep debating whether or not I'm a person, and I'll just be
No,
here
I know you're a
whenever
person.
you
It's
make a
whether or
decision.
not you're a person who we can release and not think you're gonna just die, and then I'll feel very bad about it.
Okay, whether you decide if I live or die, and I'll just be over here then.
Oh, good, you're as dramatic as him too.
Well, I am him. I'm a clone. I don't know if I explained this very well. I'm a clone of Jarlaxle, which means that I'm him repeated. Does that help?
Yes. Oh,
Is
it's
your
so
brain
wonderful, darling.
small
Thank
too?
you. Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll just be over here with the good brain.
I actually feel better now that he's an asshole. I feel a lot.
Emily just
I'm
writes,
actually relieved.
Kill him, underlined, and puts her paper
No,
in.
it's just like, so long as I thought that there was a possibility that he wasn't actually capable of, but I was kind of concerned about the whole thing. But if he's the same, similar to Jarlaxle, also an asshole, now, no, she's saying this out loud.
Right.
Then I'm actually not that worried about it.
All right. Well, he is here now. He is a person, as far as I understand it to be. He is up and about, and as far as things go, another member of the crew aboard this sub.
Yeah, he is officially his own problem. Congratulations, Carl. You're your own problem.
Thank you.
Well, for the time, Carl, just be aware that yes, we are in space, as you've seen looking out the windows. It's a very long, complicated story that I will go into at some point once I have free time.
Don't care.
That's fair. For the time being, just be careful with anything you mess with. If you're not sure what it is, don't do it, because you might vent yourself or something out in the space and then you will die horribly, so just don't do that. And,
I don't do work. No, sweetie, I'll just be here. You guys go. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
Okay. There you go. That, I believe, is a problem that is taking care of itself, more or less.
Hooray!
Getting drunker by the minute.
Now, beyond that, as Carl said,
it's actually a real shame, Amity, because you guys could be friends. like in
know.
another world, right?
It's just,
you guys
too
could
much
be
going
good
on
drinking
here.
buddies, but I get it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Too weird.
As that conversation is wrapping up, you guys crest around the edge of the sun, and the other planet comes into view, which apparently is going to even need a whole transition because I programmed these things last minute. Sorry. 1 second. And there we go. So this other planet, this desert-like orb broken with these deep crags of rivers in huge canyons and just these thin wisps of clouds that stretch over it. But otherwise, somehow is also Calgon.
Would there be any way to do like a history or arcana? Like, is there any kind of lore that we might be able to know about this world? Like, even if it was just like myths or legends.
Roll a history for me.
I will gladly do that. History. Okay, that is a 16.
Yeah, I mean, the stories are pretty well known. You have all heard that before the Gods' War, there were conflicts, and there was a time where the god of Earth took the god of the oceans and the god of water captive. And during that time, the oceans and the lakes receded from the planet and left it this barren rock. Many suffered during this time. There was a lot of hardship, and this must be that period of time.
So, with that in mind, Diamond, presumably Yara, you mentioned, your mother told you about how, something like that happened, and Diamond's sort of, listening and seems to think, and she's like, could it be, we've been traveling to different versions of Calgon through everything we've been doing with the, portals and everything else. Could this be a place where maybe another Calgon was pulled into this place and it, fell in like this, where it, is sort of the opposite to the other? Or we can't be the only ones able to move between worlds. Barros is able to follow us after all.
Yeah. A whole planet, though? That's a lot.
Well, it's a lot, but imagine if, for example, you're in a world that is falling apart. Maybe it's being consumed, or maybe something else terrible has happened. Maybe there's a terrible comet coming that has a monster inside. Any number of terrible things, and you need to move your planet away. Imagine if you could get every god on that planet to bridge together.
Far be it from me to say anything's not possible at this point.
We've seen and done amazing, incredible, and terrifying
fucked up shit, yeah.
Yes.
How you said it was better.
I feel it's probably not a good idea to rule out anything by this point, but if this is a Calgon during that time where a version of Ogun has held the others captive and therefore the seas are gone, that might not be a world we want to set down on. That might be a very harsh and problematic place to begin with, already considering the conditions, but more importantly, I don't know how receptive they might be to us.
Yep. That's all possible. That's kind of true everywhere we go, though.
It is true.
So.
More importantly, we are in a submarine, and that planet does not have much water.
Yeah, that's a problem. The fact that we're in the submarine in space, I think, is the more pressing problem than the lack of water. Because
I am still trying to work out the manner by which we could safely bring the submarine down into, down onto a planet without issue, and mostly
without crashing like a comet.
Yes, I fear that once we're outside space, we will stop being able to simply fly easily, since she gestures the fact hey, no gravity, that sort of thing going on, and she
do a little turn, a little kind of spin. Yeah,
and she's like,
I keep forgetting we're in 0D.
She's just like, presumably once we pass some line, I don't know where it begins or ends, we'd be pulled down like we would normally, and the issue would be that the submarine would go with, and
very, very fast, I think.
Very, very fast, probably, considering if you've ever tried anything, holding things up. And she, gestures a bit. She says, I some of the mines that I used to work out of were very, very deep, and more than a few people had tried. You drop something, you see how it goes. So, re-entry with something this large, moving very, very fast.
That's what I was thinking about, because, I mean, okay, admittedly, I haven't gone a lot of places. Well, no, I have now, but before. But there was a thing that the sailors in the port used to say, which is that if you fall from high enough into water, the water doesn't help. You hit it like it's rock.
Oh, yes. I've seen that happen.
Even if there was an ocean on that planet, if we were falling from the sky, would it maybe not help anyway?
No, it would not. Past a certain point, water, for whatever reason, when you hit hard enough, it is almost like hitting land. Weirdly, if I had to make a choice in terms where to hit, I'd say a desert would be a better bet.
I heard something about that, actually. As one of the gnomes kind of like forces away. Like what I heard is, so what you do is, if you're gonna work over a large body of water pretty high up, you have a rock with you, right? And if you fall, throw that rock down. And when that rock hits the water, it breaks the surface thingy, and then you can just
surface
fall
tension?
in. Yeah, that's it. And then it's just like pillows. No matter how high you fall, you just toss that rock and you're fine.
But wouldn't we need like a rock a similar size to the whole submarine?
I mean, like if you want to roll intelligence, go ahead and roll intelligence. Actually, Diamond, this is kind of like your wheelhouse.
Yeah, Amity does not know. I'm gonna need to roll to know Amity doesn't know.
Just like straight intelligence or like intelligence save.
Just straight intelligence, yeah.
Let's see how this goes. 18
Her instinct
overall.
was just bigger rock.
Yeah, no, that's super dumb, and there's no way that works. There's absolutely no way that works. They're gonna die.
Yeah.
They will die. That rock will do nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, Diamond looks, seems to consider for a moment, then shakes her head and says, even if we were to find something big enough for the submarine, the way everything would balance out, it wouldn't work. We would still hit and be torn apart regardless.
Yeah, I imagine it'd be really hard to aim.
The two gnomes look at each other and like give each other that, they don't know rocks. That kind of like, they're not gnomes. They don't know rocks like we know rocks. That kind of thing.
Meanwhile, Madison's just like side-eyeing them like, excuse me?
I'm not in the room.
I know.
Right. What is Mags doing right now, by the way? Is Mags just still...
Yeah, we should probably find out what Mags is up to.
So what is Mags up to?
So while everything's going on in the kind of chamber, Jarlaxle's private quarters.
Yeah.
Max
very not private. Jarlaxle's very unprivate quarters. Yeah.
Sure. Max is off probably in the mess hall.
Yeah.
He's just taken a chair and kind of propped it up against the corner, and with what little gravity exists, just kind of like propping up the chair on its hind legs, and it's just resting with his back up against the corner of the room.
Sure.
And he has his eyes closed and his arms are crossed in front of him. And he's just kind of like retrospectively thinking about everything that's been going on the last few days, while also trying to manifest a message or manifest some kind of information either to himself or from himself about home. He wants to try to he wants to know one of two things. One, if he wants to know if everything's okay, if anyone knows what's going on,
sure,
or what they have been told about this situation. And if he can't figure that out, he wants to just try to send the notion, maybe not the words, but the notion that he is okay and that he's working on it and he's trying to get himself back home. And as he thinks about it, he goes back to, he kind of just like tugs at his cloak a little. And if whether or not he actually thinks it happens, he wants to kind of send that message to three people. His two brothers and the princess. He just wants to kind of just give this message of solidarity that times are hard, but I'm okay. I'm working on it, and I'll try to be home as soon as I can.
Okay, so while they're all doing their nonsense, you're basically just in the mess hall alone, staring out this porthole, thinking about home and thinking about these thoughts. And as the other blue and green planet that you know, the Calgun you know, slips away, and this red and orange Calgun comes into view, you felt a connection with the water planet, and you feel a connection with this desert planet too. These places have places that you were from. There is a frozen north in both of them. There is a white waste in both of them in some form. There is a connection to both of them, and it is very disorienting, and it, like, you know that your home is somewhere else, and you can feel this slight tug and this pull towards this ethereal elsewhere where your home is and your family is and your village is, but you also feel tied down to these things as well. There's reflections of it or mirrors of that here as well, and it's very disorienting. As you try and center yourself by just looking out the window at this one planet, your eyes kind of widen as you notice this wall. As the planet rotates over, you just catch a glint of it in the sunlight, this line of white where everything else is in shadow. And as it faces more towards the sun, and it's revealed as this gigantic wall that you can see from space running perfectly north to south along the entirety of the planet. And as you follow your eyes north and you follow it towards where your village would be in that frozen north, you feel connected. You can hear it, you can smell it, the salt in the air, the frigid temperatures, the whale song as it passes by you, and you swear in the stars around the planet you see the outline of a whale just swimming through space and circling the planet as if in orbit, and it just kind of fades into dust and starlight around you. You think you made a connection? You're just not sure.
Well, I've made better with worse. So I kind of just want to push that emotion, that concept that I'm working on it, kind of out. Using, I want to try to push it to my home. Whether or not I have to push it to these two planets first to act as refracting mirrors to push it out, or if it just fades there, I just want to try to get it to the people that I know. Because as much as I'd like to think that I would know the people on either of these two planets, they are familiar yet foreign. They are the same yet oddly different in enough ways that it doesn't feel right. And I just want to find that perfect chaos of randomness that is my reality, my home, my people. And if I can find it, I want to hold on to that thread.
So as you think that, and as you think thread, and Ashrin, as you have been focusing and kind of stepping in between two different worlds, this bright golden thread appears outside the window in front of you. There's this connection that you can clearly feel between Magnuson and the family that he's reaching out for, and you see that you can strengthen and help guide that thread.
Would it help to be where Magnuson is?
No, you feel fully in control where it is. It doesn't seem to like you see where the thread's going, you see where it began, you feel like you can interface with it wherever. It wouldn't really matter where you were along it.
Yeah, what Ashrin will do is slip a tendril into it, and then if there's no resistance, she'll put her whole divinity behind it.
Right. Then that would work as a bridge. So Magnuson, I would like you to roll your divinity with advantage.
Oh, joy. Advantage believe that's this guy. 18.
It's good that you had it. Okay, excellent.
Very good that I had it.
Yeah, you feel like you can see this string of energy and thought and love and worry unspool from you and shed planets and galaxies and time and space until you remember when you were handed that little trinket, that little gift that you all are given before you go out on your boats and you go out to hunt, and you remember the little girl giving you that little trinket, this little kind of figure where the hair was all wrapped up in this golden twine, and the edge of this thread that is reached out ends in that little hair wrap on that little doll. And you're back in that moment. You're where you are on the ship, but you're also where you are there. Your hand is outstretched. You're holding the doll, but you're not. And it's all connected. And for a moment, you know that you're there and that you were heard. And then you just kind of fall back in on yourself. The sun rises behind this planet, and you're at peace for the first time in quite some time. And
Can I do one more thing?
Actually, you know what? Hold on. Yes, please go.
Okay. While Ashrin is in the bridge connected with that, she wants to push some of her bardic inspiration along to that line to Magnuson. And for Magnuson, this is the first time you have ever heard Ashrin sing.
Nice. And it's the voice kind of like it feeds in with the other voices. Like you could hear them singing down by the wharf, you could hear them singing down by the boats, and then Ashrin's melodies kind of filter in with that, almost as if she knows your old songs, as if she's always been in the village. And those notes and harmonies kind of like drift you off into this moment of peace. And we're going to hold right there for a moment, and we're going to go to break, and then we'll be back in 10 minutes, where we will pick up with the group where we left off.
All right.
We will see you all again shortly.
Excellent.
Hey, and welcome back to Godsfall Escape the Union, where we had last left off is a bit of a contemplative moment as we all had thought about different things we were doing and different connections we were making, and Magnuson had just made a very strong connection with his past, aided by Ashran. As you do that, Magnuson, and as you feel that thread reach out, and this planet is spinning beneath you, this copper burnt orange planet, the sun catches on the edge of it, and its rays fill your eyes for a moment, and you look away, and as you look back, this corona of light along the planet has a single black speck in the middle of it, and that black speck is growing larger as you watch it, and a ring of fire dances around it as it grows larger.
It's coming out of orbit?
Almost as if it came from the edge of the sun and is now approaching you.
Oh no! Oh!
I'm thinking it too.
I don't want to deal with him. I want to go. I don't want to deal with him.
I look out at it contemplatively because I'm not quite sure what it is. My thought is it's another comet, but what is that?
So the two of you are still bridged as you're having this thought. There's still this connection between you and Ashran. So Ashran, your eye is drawn to this too, and there is just divine energy spilling off this. Just these waves of divine energy are beginning to now strike the ship.
What flavor is it possible to tell?
Well, you absolutely know that it's complete, that this is the god
Lemon
of the
lime.
sun. This is 100% the god of the sun.
The old god of the sun?
This is
Well, we
not
don't
the
know
old
which
god of
one.
the sun. This is new energy. This is
As
new
I-
life.
I don't
This
wanna
is
deal with him either.
fresh.
I
This
wanna
is
push.
Oh no.
I don't want to
fusion
deal with evil Perra.
flying
Oh,
Dark
towards
Perra
you.
makes me so sad.
I'll push back at Magnuson and say it's Perra.
And as you
crap.
say that, like, you can see the two
Is
eyes
there-
of this speck pop open. It's just balls of fire, and you can feel warmth now as waves of heat begin to strike the ship.
So I want to try something, okay? I know that it's my godmom that has controlled him.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to use that and try to maybe deflect him. I don't know, control him a little bit. Like, is there
Access her
enough
strength.
of my strength that's related to hers
Right.
to be able to do something about it?
So you reach out to the moon. And as you reach out to the moon, you know it's behind the planet. You can feel it behind the planet. And you reach out to it and you connect. And it feels small. And then
Sorry, Aram, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Sorry, it feels small, and then a little larger, and then a little bit smaller, and there's like all of a sudden like it's fractured and disconnected, and you're confused at what you're reaching out to. As it comes into view around the planet, you see a fractured moon, a moon that has been blown into pieces and fragments of itself, and 20, 30, 100, 1,000 of them as they come around the edge. But whatever strength there was here to reach out to, whatever god and divinity there was, has been destroyed.
Is there any way? Is there any connection to my godmom?
It feels like the opposite here. It feels like where there would normally be a connection here, there's an anti-connection, a darkness, a tar pit
Void?
that just sucks, a void that just eats whatever you're reaching out for, whatever connection you want to make and bridge here. It's the opposite.
Okay. I can't control him, Max.
He's getting closer. And now warnings are starting to go off in the ship. Bells, whistles, steam levels are rising, heat levels are rising, and you can see the
I'm
edges.
running to find Mags.
Okay, excellent.
Diamond's heading for the bridge, obviously.
Yeah, bridge.
Yeah.
So
Ashwin will head that way too.
Are we saying, could this be like a red alert?
I think it's fair. This is definitely a red alert. Yes, I
Hey.
won't dock you XP for that. It is 100% a red alert. As you say that, actually, the magical wings of this ship are beginning to glow red hot.
Yeah. So like, if we come
Family,
up to the
bridge with me.
Reach out for Yara instantly and just grab.
I would like to use the bridging power to cast absorb elements on the submarine.
I would like to use special super god bullshit power to cast. Yes. So you are casting. I'm sorry. What again?
Absorb elements.
Right. Okay. Excellent. So you bridge with Amity. You bridge with the ship and this magical energy that seems to just like coat the entire thing to protect you from space, from the elements, from pressure, from cold. You link with that and you're able to absorb these waves of heat that are coming in towards the ship.
Can I also try some bullshit?
Sure, try some bullshit.
Because that's a really good idea, and I would like to kind of build on it slightly, which is like use my divinity to sort of then, as we're absorbing the heat,
Yes.
like push it away from us and use it to move us the fuck away.
Okay, I would like you to make a divinity roll to convert heat energy
Okay,
into
yeah.
thrust.
Do we both need to make divinity
Gotta
rolls at this point?
redistribute that
For
energy.
this one, just her, because this is very specifically her divinity.
Okay.
But she is bridged, so she'd get advantage for it, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So you could roll second time more. Like you're bridged right now, so you have advantage for that. Oh, that's a little bit better, yeah.
Not a lot. I'm going to use a luck point.
All right.
We're not seeing your dice.
Yeah, we're not seeing her dice for some reason.
Oh yeah, because it's still green.
because you're a dark shade of
Oh,
green.
right. I have to fix that.
For Twitch viewers, she rolled a 13 total, then a 15 total, and then with the luck point,
23.
Nice, a 23. Okay, I'll fix the dice in a moment. So what are you trying to do?
Basically, I want to use Yara's idea and Yara's spell and just go one step further. And as we're absorbing that energy, then use the energy to just try and move us
Put it
away
into
from
the
what's
force
coming
breath.
towards us. Yeah.
All right. So between the two of you, you are quickly redirecting this heat, and you're seeing this now what was a little, dot of blackness become a person with just a wreath of fire, as if a sunspot is following them behind. They're approaching you at incredible speed, but you're able to take this heat, force it towards the back of the ship, and you all just rocket forward. You're slammed against the back of the ship. You're all pinned against bulkheads as you rocket back around the edge of the sun, and you see this figure falling smaller and smaller and smaller until this orange cow gun fades away, this burnt desert cow gun fades away, and you end up back at this blue and green marble that you were at previously.
Did Perra die?
No.
Did you kill him? No, you just left him in the dust. He was very much alive when you left.
Okay.
He's probably still coming, is the issue.
Well, no,
for sure,
it's just
yeah.
if I could use Mantle of Whispers on him.
No, he's not that. He's just behind.
I would
Okay.
say he's outside of the distance right now, but if
Okay.
he comes back around the sun, sure, absolutely.
I mean, if we can kill him, yeah, but like,
Why would we try? We should definitely just run away.
I don't want to fight the nuclear god. I'm good, thanks.
I don't want to fight the nuke god. I don't want to fight him.
I don't want to fight the nuke. No.
Oh, actually,
I would like to not fist fight that nuke.
You would be a bad place to fight the god of the sun in space,
sun.
where there's no atmosphere
no, for
between you
sure.
and them. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I presume at some point, like the super boost we got sort of like starts to peter out such that we can move, right?
I would say back when you're within the orbit of blue cow gun, I would say that like once you're recaptured, you just kind of slide into that orbit again.
Yeah. Diamond sort of like peels herself off a wall there, and
Right.
like, you know, kind of like skitters forward on part of the wall.
Sorry, that just seemed like the best idea in the moment.
No, that was probably a very good idea. I don't know what that was, but I did not want any of it. But she, you know, immediately is gonna like check.
Fast thinking, Nara. Good job.
It's very good, very good. You both did fantastic. Okay, so that's the thing we need to worry about. I would very much like to not be around that thing, and I hope it cannot get here, but we'll just have to wait and see.
So Ashwin will come in to where all of you are, or a woman wearing Ashwin's clothes comes in to where all of you are, and runs up to Mags and squeezes Mags' hand and go, I think you talked to them. I think that worked.
Yo, I don't know who that was. I'm not sure if you're friends or not, but you might want to take that arrow and shoot that thing with it. I'm pretty sure that's a god. Like, that might be a god.
Yes. I'm gonna go with yes we are, yes we do, no we're not, no we won't, and who are you?
Hi, I'm one of the gnomes that has a name.
You.
Oh.
Ashwin?
Rude hierarchy on this ship.
I was the lady dreaming.
I see. Okay, though that's nice.
Yeah, Diamond just like
the clothes don't fit, really.
Yeah.
Yo,
Diamond
I'm
just,
the
like,
gnome
squints.
confused. What the hell's going on here?
I don't know.
Yes, I would also like.
I
an
don't know how to
explanation.
explain it to them.
So
It'd be hard to- I don't know how to explain it to them.
People look one way, and then magic happens, and then they look another way.
All right, and they just kind of look at each other and I mean, they're fucking two
They're from
gnomes who
Forgotten
were
Realms. Like,
who
it's not
were
that important of an idea.
They are two gnomes from the Forgotten Realms who were imprisoned by Jarlaxle on his magical
boss-
submarine.
their
Now they're in
boss shape
space.
changes.
Apparently, you're demigods. That was the sun. Whatever. Like, they're kind of like, okay, fine. That seems like as
We've reached the
reasonable
point.
an explanation as fucking anything today.
Their
Right.
boss looks like a human from time to time, okay?
I mean, yeah, okay, well, that's a little bit more understandable than, you know, space Jesus. You know, they're kind of just clinging on, but
Space Antichrist, kinda.
right. It helps that they're kind of dumb. So at least one of them, so it's like easier to just like, all right, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
So when we are passing, I have a lot to tell you guys. When we were passing through, I tried to reach out to Fate because I know we saw that one time that she was controlling him.
Him being
And-
the thing
and
that just tried to kill us.
No, remember she was trying to corrupt him.
Yeah,
Him
that
who?
was for sure Perra, Diamond.
Right.
Oh,
That was Perra.
no, that makes sense now that you explained. I didn't put a name to.
Right.
Okay.
And I tried
so-
to reach out to see if I could use her influence over him, and she was not there. She was like definitely anti not there or whatever it was. Also, the book has 2 new pages now, and one of them looks
Okay.
like that one, and one of them looks like that one.
Well,
When you
let's
say
not go
out
to
of
the one
character-
that had
yeah.
Perra over it.
Yeah, when you say that one, you're referring to the planets, right?
Yes, the planets.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And she'll show you the 2 pages and hand them in the book.
Yeah. David like takes a look at that for a moment, just sort of like sighs and says, "All right. Okay. So this is turning into a whole situation."
Yeah, but
right?
I couldn't control Perra, and
No, that's fair. I'm just saying this is a democracy and everything, but I would like to make it very
Oh,
clear
is it?
that my vote is blue planet.
Anderson.
how familiar would we all be with the family tree of the old gods?
I would say, well, you're a paladin and you were raised with anyone who was like who has a little bit of history or a little bit like it wasn't a secret, right? So it's
Sure.
easy enough to find out. It's like any of us could look up how the Greek gods were all related to each other. So
Sure.
yeah, like that whole chart I have, that whole gods chart I have on the website. Yeah, you have that information.
Was I ever told who my godparent was?
I don't think so. I don't believe so.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
the sign of thinking moot. Got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Darn it.
what are you trying to do? Because maybe
you can
like, you know,
hypothesize it.
yeah. Like maybe like there's
so
this connection.
my thought was
Or I could tell you what it is.
if I
can
knew
I
who,
can trace connections.
if I knew who my godparent was,
Right.
I could in theory figure out where I was in connection to the old god of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
My
Who is your god apparent?
Radia, goddess of will,
Right. Gotcha.
who
Okay,
is
gotcha.
the daughter of Sapor, the god of the sun, which
Yeah.
would make him my grandfather.
Right.
My thought would be if there was, I would venture to guess the gods would keep tabs on some of the other gods' children that they're directly descended of,
Sure.
in very minor ways. I wonder if there's a spark of the old gods in the new gods. That their essence, not only their powers, but part of their essence has been influencing their growth as people and their growth into the new gods. And my theory was if I could tap into that slight essence of the old god of the sun to convince the new god of the sun that this was pointless and that he has been molded by someone that has been interfering with fate.
Well, the energy's definitely there. So you can and you've been able to sense this in each other too. So your own energies are both new, as in new to you, right? New is in there being constantly regenerated because divinity is constantly formed in the moment, right? But also very old. There is this tie back to this ancient, before time, before thought power, something that birthed the whole universe, something that birthed everything. There's a tie back to that too. You're not quite sure how you would manipulate that, but there's something there.
I just want to have a conversation with Sephora.
It's it's possible. How would you want to make it happen?
Is Max still in the bridge, or did he break it?
He's still in the bridge. So
if she sees you doing that, she's going to start to trace things in her mind and realize that your divinity and hers are connected. Because Will is one of the parents of fate.
Easy. Yeah.
And then
Well, we're
continue
all
to
cousins.
trace that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, yes. I mean, gods.
No, but I mean like really directly, because the siblings are
Mhm.
Jadar, Radia,
Yeah.
what's fate again?
Lordress.
Lodris.
Mortis. And then the other one, those four in that group, I think.
So if Ashrin traces it up to Will, she can continue to trace that up to see who's above Max in that line.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I would say it all just kind of forms in front of you as you lay it out. Yeah.
Is that what you needed?
Somewhat. So my thought was that Perra is acting on dogma and propaganda that was designed to break the will of the unwilling and to mold them into a weapon that would burn the weaves of time and fate until there was nothing on either side, from the middle out.
I just want to say that background is so freaking epic. I just really started looking at it.
Max wanted to have a conversation with Perra to try, or at least try to convince him to re-steal his resolve. In doing so, tapping into and having a conversation with Sephora to try to burn the memory of this dogma out of his head. Stealing his resolve against the agents of anti-fate and whatever chaotic forces are at play, to try to try to cauterize the weave and mend it whole.
Do you explain this out loud to the rest of us?
it probably doesn't make a ton of sense how he's explaining it, but he's kind of vaguely getting to that as a point. But with Perra already gone, that would have been something that would have taken a lot of time, is his problem, and we're not really on that long of a time frame.
It's a good idea if he comes back.
Yes, that was my thought, is prepare for his eventual
forever in space.
As you're considering that, and as you have this connection, you're reaching out and you're looking for another way to connect with them, there's a pull. There's two very distinctive pulls. There's a pull backwards to where you just were and back towards the sun in general. But there's also a weaker pull, but similar, coming from the growing blue and green planet in front of you.
Do I have an idea what? So these are pulls of divinity?
These are pulls of divinity. These are pulls of Perra.
Perra specifically.
Oh, there's two.
Two power guns, two Perras.
Okay.
If you do, Mags, if you try it, I'd like to help. It bothers me that what keeps happening to Perra. I know it obviously, but it bothers me.
He's the greatest victim in all of this.
I just don't like people getting used or
force-fed a lie. Force-fed a lie.
Yeah, any of it. It makes my skin crawl.
Being fed the resolve of vengeance against the lie.
Yeah, I mean, that's all bad too in a specific sense, but I just mean generally. I don't like any of it.
I just want to break the mirrors and dispel the smoke.
All right. As you're thinking that, the sun flares behind you. A wave of heat rolls off it, and there's a corona coming around the edge that you passed recently as it's growing brighter and flaming brighter. And alarms start going off, the ship begins to shudder, the gnomes are running around with their hands above their head. What are you all doing?
Are we running or are we doing this? I think it's a straight choice and we gotta make it now.
So I need some clarification, I apologize. Are you saying that we're feeling the heat from the sun again?
Mm-hmm. The sun seems to be glowing brighter.
Okay.
And the evil Perra is coming, around the side of it towards us.
I have an idea, and it's something I've been hanging on to for a little while, but at this point, what if we sent the asteroid to Perra as a way of distracting him for a long time?
I mean, it's got merit, but we don't know how to move the asteroid, and
we don't have a lot of time to figure it out.
I don't want to. I don't know that I want to throw an asteroid at him. I know he'll probably be fine, but I don't want to.
Probably.
Can we fight him right now?
I don't know.
Can we protect ourselves from him right now?
Prepare the ship for orbit for
landing.
Descent.
The gnomes
kind of
like
the planet.
Yeah, the gnomes kind of like start to go do a thing and then stop and realize there's nothing they can actually do to make that happen, and then turn back to you with their hands up like, we'd love to. Tell us how to do that. Tell us how to prepare this magical stingray submarine for re-entry to a planet, and we'd love to help you out. But we're going to need a bit of guidance there, my friend.
Diamond, maybe you and I can reinforce it together?
Maybe. I had another thought. If we're still in the Union, maybe the Union could help us get to the planet.
Well, also, we haven't done it in a while, but we could all bridge.
We also have the book.
Go quickly. I'll try to hold him off for a moment or two. Figure it out.
I think I should help you if the others do the ship.
Okay, so you're all gonna bridge together.
Or are we doing 2 groups or are we all bridging?
Yeah, that's
We
a
should
good
do
question.
all. I think we should
do all.
Yeah, we should do all. Should we focus one towards things? So I think Diamond's gonna look at you, Max, and just say, "You want to help him, right?"
Helping him can solve both our problems, I think.
Then that is what we are going to do.
I want to help him.
Yeah, Diamond will go over to take Mag's hand, and she's just gonna stick a hand into her bag.
I feel somewhat responsible.
Into the bag of holding.
Yeah, she's gonna stick a hand into her bag of holding.
Okay, are you reaching for something in particular, or just keeping half of a part of your body
Just
in an interdimensional space?
Keeping my hand. She'll reach in and she'll grab something and pull it out and just stick it in her pocket for the time being.
Okay, fair. All right. Okay. So you're all bridging together, correct? Is that right?
Sounds like it.
So you all need to then roll your divinity just to make sure, because you're all trying to bridge at the same time, which takes a little bit more effort. Magnuson, you have a finger up.
So, being as a paladin, and mechanically speaking, I grant my allies bonus to saving throws.
Yeah.
Is this considered a saving throw or an ability check?
This is an ability check.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to double check that point of order before I made my
Totally fair.
I got a 24.
You're
And-
locked in.
Doesn't Ashrin give everybody advantage on these?
Yes. Yes, she does.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So.
Because you're forming it.
18.
Good timing. Yep.
I got a 24.
Oof, that's pretty garbo.
Okay.
Take a luck point. Take a luck point.
No, take a luck point. Okay, and
There
then
you
we'll
go.
reroll again.
Much
22 is much better.
Very good. Okay, so everyone did well. So, as
We're
the
so good at
gnomes
this.
are just sat there, kind of looking. Well, as the gnomes and young Jarlaxle are just
You
kind
mean
of just.
Carl? His name's
Carl, right? Sorry, Carl. So as the
Carlaxle.
gnomes and Carlaxle are gathered around the table, you all link to each other, and you link in with the ship, and you are fully connected. What are you trying to do?
So, the first thing that I want to do as we're starting to prepare the bridge is I want to channel my divinity to grant myself a, let's see, which one is it? Features and traits. Invoke the Emissary of Peace to grant myself +5 to persuasion checks for the next 10 minutes.
All right.
Just in case.
All right. So as fire begins to flow off of the sun in waves, I assume you guys are you guys headed towards the cow gun that's blue and green, or are you staying where you? Okay, so you are.
We
so
are?
You're
Okay.
gonna try and land on it, right?
Do we want to head towards the planet? It might be better.
I thought we were stationary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My understanding was like we'll fix the Perra issue and then we'll worry about landing.
Yeah, I think we should fix the Perra issue before we try to go.
All right.
So my initial
My
suggestion.
navigation, I say.
My initial suggestion to the gnomes is point the ship towards the planet while we solve this problem. In theory, we might be able to get him to push us there.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you stop where you are. The ship just hangs in this blackness in between the planet and the sun, with this void of fire roiling around the top of the sun and heading towards you. As you connect with each other and as you connect with the ship, you're able to feel everything. You feel the energy around the edge of the ship. You strengthen it with your power. You just kind of push off these waves of heat and fire coming toward you as you completely link with the ship. You also link with its sensors. So not only can you see Perra coming around the edge, but you can sense him now. You can sense the heat. You can sense the divine energy. And there's this bright light of divine energy, this single bright light as he's coming around the edge. And as he becomes visible, that bright light seems to separate. And you recognize that it's not just one light. There's another divine light. There's the sun, but there's also, with that heat and those waves of heat that seem to be hitting you, and the way that heat seems to dance all around you as if he's controlling all the heat near him. You breathe out, and you feel your breath leave your lungs a little too easy as if it was pulled. And right next to the sun, this energy of fire, is this energy of air. And you realize that he's clearly the god of both.
Okay, so he's got more than one divinity.
So
Power hits you in waves. You're strong right now. You all bridged are very strong. This is stronger.
Not too god strong.
Okay.
I close my eyes and envision myself in a room with him. Just a basic 4x4 room, wooden table, wooden chairs.
As you start to form that, this wave of heat and air slams into your ship. And I need all of you to make a constitution save.
This is rolled at advantage.
Correct.
With also a +4 modifier.
All right.
One of the
because your
things.
paladin thing?
One of the things I've been wanting to do, Aram, but I didn't want to interrupt, is that when we started the bridge, Ashrin is going to start to sing,
Nice.
which, as a reminder, no one has heard her do this before. And so everybody has bardic inspiration.
Nice.
I got
So
an
my-
18.
My roll is a grand total of 27.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Total
were
28 from me.
nice.
Nice.
Everyone looks like they've
Well-
rolled really well.
Yeah. What was the plus, Max?
+4.
So +4.
23 for me.
Okay, so you all just nail it. Like, you all feel the strain of the heat and this blast of air slam into the energy that's holding this ship together. But you push back, and your ship glows even brighter. And now there's this kind of fight back and forth as the ship is being buffeted and slapped around. In that moment, what is this room, Magnuson, that you're picturing? What are you seeing?
So I think that it's like a cottage at the top of the hill. Basic 4x4, maybe a nice hearth going on. We're in the worm season. The hearth is mostly there for show versus for comfort. There's a nice window opening up to the side where you can get a view of the plains, and then off the plains is a cliff leading out to the ocean.
Okay.
Think like a cottage alongside the cliffs of Dover.
So you're there, and as you're just kind of sitting there, you're alone for a moment, but you're not worried about it. You seem kind of calm, and it's peaceful here. You can hear the waves crashing. You can smell the salt in the air, and you just feel at peace. And as you're looking around, you're starting to notice murals that weren't there a moment ago, but now they are. And it's showing murals of Perra, and it's showing murals of Perra's life. And you see Perra, and you see some of the others. You see Doro there. And then you see Zion, and you see their relationship forming, and you see them happy and together. And then you see Zion die. And there's this darkness that is lit with a flame. And that flame goes brighter and brighter. But you then see like the spirit of Zion floating around. It's all very confusing for a moment, but then like you just seem to understand it as if you'd heard this story before. Clearly before Zion died, he somehow also became the god of dreams. And when he died, the dream of him never left Perra. So Perra is the god of air and sun, but is haunted by the ghost of his former lover, who was the god of dreams and force. And that entity, that combined entity, is what Perra is now. And that's what you're dealing with. And as you come to that realization, you can feel him in this mind palace you've created growing closer. But it's not him you're dealing with right now. It's Zion.
Oh.
Zion?
Who hates everybody.
A voice in several ears all around you. You see a boy of flame take a seat at this table, but the flame is like just dancing around. It like forms an image of Perra over an image of Zion inside.
Perra?
He's not here. You can't touch him. You're dealing with me.
Zion, right?
Yeah. Once. I don't need that name anymore. Much as I don't need my flesh, or my body, or to eat, or to shit. That's all gone.
It can be liberating, can't it?
And he smiles. He leans back. One question. Make it good. And you just feel the whole, like the whole ship around you shudders and groans. You guys hear bolts pop out, a pane of glass cracks, and you're just in this Mind Palace Magnuson facing off against this energy of fire and force that is Zion.
I have out of character. I have a question I want to ask, but it's probably the worst question possible.
You got one. He's gonna give you one.
Out of character, what's the question you're thinking of?
Yeah.
Do you regret turning into the monster you once fought to push away?
That's
Yes, yeah, so probably what that question is. If the answer is no, then we're fucked.
I think regret. I think a better question might be, are you proud of what you become? Or maybe even
are you happy with what you become?
Would Zion want you to be like this?
Well, no, he's talking to Zion.
Yes,
I am talking to Zion.
Oh, it's not like Zion. Okay.
It's a Zion. It's a Zion Perra mind meld.
I would ask
the flesh of Perra.
I think Tyler's on the right track though. I think something like, is this what you wanted for Perra?
Oh, that
Ooh.
Yes.
That's
a good one.
And we're all bridged, so Aram, we're allowed to share
Sure.
these.
I know,
thoughts.
100%.
You're conscious right now.
Okay. How do you phrase this, Magnuson?
So what was the question, Orla? It was like,
Is this what you want for Perra?
Is this what you wanted for Perra?
is this what you wanted for Perra to become a monster you swore to defend against?
All right.
Is that reasonable with people?
Yeah,
I like it.
Okay.
Hang on one second.
Honestly, I think making it simpler, just being, is this what you wanted for Perra, might like be the most succinct question you could ask there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I'll just.
So this is what happens. You ask the question, and there's like a wave of cold, like the air just sucked the heat out of the room, right? And everything dims for a moment, and the eyes go hollow, and the flame flickers out, and then it's just Zion just sitting there, just small, just so much smaller than you expected him to be. And you just hear a hoarse, kind of pained no, and then darkness, and then alarms as the ship is spun and buffeted and slammed, and you guys are spiraling now down towards the planet, completely out of control. You're plunged into darkness as behind you the sun winks out, and you are left spiraling in darkness towards the planet, struggling for control as you enter the atmosphere and are buffeted about. And I would like you all now to roll another Constitution check to stay in the bridge.
Yeah. Is this an ability check or a saving throw?
This would be a divinity check, so it's a divinity save to stay in the bridge.
So this would be affected.
Sorry,
or not.
Yes, it would be.
Your thing
would be affected.
Your thing's gonna apply, yeah.
Yeah.
So we still get the advantage, and we still.
I'm gonna. Oh, thank God, because I rolled a 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
13.
a divinity save.
Correct.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a save versus your divinity modifier.
I saw that,
Hey,
Ebony. I
I'm
saw
gonna
the 1
use
and the
it.
2. Yeah.
I'm using a luck point.
Nice.
You
That's
all
your
still
last
have
one,
bardic
isn't it?
inspiration as well.
I'm gonna add my bardic inspiration.
I have.
I'm gonna add my bardic inspiration.
25.
It's a
It's a
D8.
D8
Nice.
now, right?
Mhm.
So 2.
I'm going
I actually
to.
missed what I got. Hold on. Where did I go?
I'm up.
Okay, yeah, I got a 25 on the last one.
Nice.
I'm going to, as a reaction, give myself a flash of genius to bump my thing all the way up to 17 is the highest I can get currently.
You're able
got up to a
like at the
19.
last minute, you just realize that there are air drag flaps that you can pop up, and you run and pop those up real fast. So what is the lowest that anyone got?
I believe it's actually the 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe my
Yeah.
17 is the lowest.
So Diamond 17, and then I had a 19.
I
mean-
had a 19.
It's a
23.
Entering atmosphere in a magical submarine with big, huge magical windows is a unique experience. And you all are running around as flame is exploding outside, as darkness and then light, and then you got spun around. But you're
And
able.
maybe we killed the sun.
Maybe, and you're able to manage it. And you are plunging into darkness, but you're also plunging onto what have been the night side of this planet. So it's like a weird, like is it night? Is the sun dead? You're not really sure. But there's just enough light where you can see the outline of a beach beneath you and the ocean to its left, and you think you can land safely there. It seems pretty open.
Diamond is, you said we're also connected to the ship during all this, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Diamond's actually, like seeing that is going to point and says, "We don't want the water, we want the beach and the sand. It's going to give more."
All right, then Diamond, I would like you to roll a dexterity save.
Okay. See how this. I probably should have rolled that with advantage, but the first one was a 17, so I'll
All
take
right.
it.
Then you all with your combined effort, not knowing what the hell you're doing, but led just by friendship and determination, are able to bring this magical submarine in for a landing, and kind of like in the shallows of the water, using the water to kind of like go down to a skid, right? And finally, you are just laid to rest on the edge of a beach,
We're definitely going to
Looking
feel that in
out.
the morning.
over
Is our beach episode?
just as the sun begins to crest at the edge. And the sun is still there. It's not out. It's the first rays of warmth reach out. At first, they seem a little frightening, a little worrying, but it's just a soft, gentle, pleasant light and heat. And for the first time in a while, you all feel like things might be okay. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to stop and catch your breath. And what a great place to do that. And with that in mind, we're going to hold right there for today. When we come back next week, and it's going to be next Friday, we're going to be playing the background story of Magnuson, which we have not heard yet. We alluded to it a little
Diamond.
bit.
No, Diamond.
Sorry.
Diamond.
Sorry, excuse me. The background story of Diamond. Pardon me, because we have heard Magnuson. Sorry, we'll be hearing the background story of Diamond, and then we'll be tying some of that into the story when we come back again for our next recording. But thank you all so much for joining us, and we're going to go around and say who we were, starting with Diamond.
Hi, I'm James. I play Diamond, the demigod of trash, and softest landings you could hope from orbit.
I mean, really, that did go as well as you probably could have hoped.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
I
I'll take it.
mean-
I will take it.
All right, and then Magnuson.
Hello, my name is Chris. I play Mags, demigod of redemption and communing with gods, oh powerful gods, oh god.
And Ashrin, whose name is finally spelled right. Sorry about that.
You. My name is Mary. I play Ashrin, the demigod of strands and singing.
Excellent. Amity.
Hi, I'm Orla. I play Amity, the demigod of redistribution and threatening violence on very annoying people.
Exactly. And last but not least, Yara.
Hi, I'm Tyler. I play Yara, the demigod of stewardship and teenage angst.
Excellent.
Somebody's gonna bring that to the table, and
Yeah,
she's,
no,
she's
it's
doing a
important. It's an important
fantastic job.
contribution. Yeah.
100%. All right, and
Just
my
wait till
name...
next time.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I'm ready for the conversation.
I know.
Oh, there's so many
ready.
conversations
But
that have
Amity's
to
not
happen next
mad
time.
anymore. I was gonna have a whole fight with you, but she's not mad anymore.
Oh,
We almost
Yara
died,
is.
and she always
Yeah,
got
it'll be a
over.
one-sided conversation.
I totally
Yeah.
wanted to do more this week, Aram.
Oh, well, there's going to be, well, next week we're going to have a double extra large episode. We had a little bit longer one this week, but next week we're going to have sorry, not next week, but next episode we're going to have a longer one because we're going to have a beach episode. And I want you guys to have plenty of time to relax and maybe play some beach games and go swimming
Does Tyler
and have a
look
couple
like he's planning on
drinks.
having us relax?
No, but look,
Is that what you're seeing in Tyler's eyes? right
there's gonna be some option to relax on the beach. There's gonna be some
I'm
extended
holding a
beach
puppy.
time.
Of course.
Auction.
If you want to journal a bit, there's gonna be some
the
time
sand
for
is lava and
journaling.
Aram's gonna kill us.
No,
Can
no,
we
no.
actually
no.
like
I'm-
talk to each other
I'm-
without
yeah.
you putting plot down our
I'm
throats?
100% going to give you a nice long beach episode. The ship has special beach towels that you'll be able to lay out and enjoy. Yeah. In fact, Jarlaxle's got like one of those whole like big ass umbrellas
Some
on the
version of
submarine.
it.
It
We've been
folds
nagging
down.
for this beach episode for so long. I'm kind of suspicious now that it's here.
I understand. No, I promise you.
It's a
I
beach
promise
mimic.
you're getting a real beach episode. Okay. All right, excellent. Then thank you all for joining us. My name is Aram. You can find everything I do online at godsfall.com. And we will see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.
Bye.